What up, everybody? It was a really different month than the others in the year. But first, Water Closet, Pepper Jensen's newest short film. Now, if you remember, Pepper and I had met back in the beginning of 2019, and I'm not sure if it was because of The Butcher, but he reached out to me about collaborating on this project, and I ended up being the director of photography and the editor for it. Had to do with The Butcher or not, I still think it's cool that I'm getting more director of photography work. And I was excited to work on this because I got to bring in my own camera and have a lot more control of what you see on screen, framing and that sort of thing. There were maybe 15 of us on set, but there were both brief nudity and drug use in this film, so I wanted to be extra careful in the way that I shot it and the way it was done. I always want to be extra careful on any set that has drugs or nudity for, I guess, kind of two reasons. Actor comfortability, first of all, and also film rating. Plus, a lot of drug users and stuff, they'll call people out if they use them incorrectly, so that's kind of an additional thing here. Keep in mind, actors are usually out of their comfort zone as it is, being asked to perform, cameras on them, lights on them. It's hot, there's lots of people in the room. It's not something that most people are comfortable with naturally. And to add drug use or nudity on top of that, it further complicates matters and pushes people further out of their comfort zone. Keep in mind, I'm talking about fake drugs. We're not actually using drugs on set. But with drug use having always been common on film sets, let me clarify that. With drug use being seen on camera quite a bit in film sets, coupled with the fact that drug use is rampant in Hollywood, drug misuse, maybe I should say. Add to that full nudity is becoming more common in films and TV shows, Game of Thrones, Watchmen, The Witcher, things like that. This is going to be something that a lot of filmmakers and actors are going to encounter, and I think that they should be prepared for that. If you're an actor, let the director and producers know that you would be uncomfortable with a scene that involves nudity or drug use, if that's something that you're not okay with. Because even if it's not in the script, if it's not something that you see right away, it might be something planned for later episodes of the show that you're on. It might be something that happens in the second season or in a sequel to the film. So it's just something that you should be aware of, because that is the case. You will run into that now. On the flip side of this, it also means that more actors are double dipping into things that might be seen as more scandalous or outright explicit, that might have been career-ending previously, but now is just, it's entertainment. It's been a quite drastic change from, say, the golden age of Hollywood to now in how acceptable that is and how often it is that you'll see it on HBO, Netflix, R-rated movies. Even porn stars have been able to double dip. Sasha Grey being on a season of Entourage. Things like that could never have happened 30, 40 years ago, but now have become more common. I think that this is reflective of kind of an overall cultural change, that sexuality is more accepted in various forms, but something you should definitely keep in mind as an actor or filmmaker, that you should be aware, careful, and respectful on any set like this. For example, I reached out to the actors afterwards, even after verifying on set, like, hey, this is okay, whatever, we're good. I reached out afterwards just to double check, like, hey, was anything on set make you feel uncomfortable, things like that, just to, make sure. Because I feel like that's important, especially with, as strong and powerful as the Me Too movement is and all that. We want to make sure that as filmmakers and entertainers, we're on the right side of that, because a lot of people have been on the wrong side of it, as we're seeing. I got to see the full rough cut of the web series episodes for Dropouts, and I'm really excited to see the direction that's going. Because keep in mind, if the show does get picked up, we'll have to reshoot all of it. And rather than have those actors just, feel like, well, that was great, I got something made that's now being produced, but am I even involved in it anymore? I'd want something better than that, as will Combi, which is why we're doing the web series, because then it gets released no matter what. and that's IMDb credits that people get to keep and have, and that's all set in stone. And then if we do have a larger adaptation of this that gets picked up by a studio or something, they'll at least be aware or have to give a nod to the previously existing content and maybe bring some of those actors along for the ride, which I think would be great. I went back to Monterey County on the 23rd of this month. Went to spend Christmas with my dad and uncle as per usual. It's not a strictly Christian family, but I guess we celebrate because it's an American holiday as much as it is a religious holiday, I suppose, at this point. For a lot of years, it's the only time that I can go back home, so I always enjoy that time. But this time I knew it would be different because I'll be going back in January. My dad is having hip replacement surgery, so I'm gonna be back up there to take care of him and make sure the house is clean and everything until he's back on his feet and ready to go. That means I should be back in Los Angeles in early February. I don't know the exact day, just kind of depends on how quickly my dad recovers, but he's in very good health and really takes care of himself. So it'll be a quick recovery, maybe just a week or a week and a half that I'll be there with him before I'll be able to come back, and his brother will be able to handle any additional stuff until he's fully recovered. About 6 weeks out is what the doctors have estimated. I want to use this opportunity to talk about the World Health Organization and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's new standards that they've put forward for medical professionals, for hospitals, that sort of thing. And they're basically saying that antibiotics should be avoided whenever possible. Anything that talks about killing germs, bacteria, fungus, basically anything that talks about killing those things should be eliminated from both the home and medical facilities because of the rampant rise of antibiotic-resistant infection, which some of you may know killed my grandmother. She used a whole lot of antibacterial hand soap. She showered with an antibacterial soap. She used a lot of Purell and a lot of Clorox and Lysol and other products that have since been deemed hazardous to human use, to human health. So I'm really hoping that my dad can find a medical professional who's up to date, a hospital that is cutting edge with this, because even though this happened back in 2014, I believe 2015 was the first year that Antibiotic Resistance Awareness Week came out. A lot of hospitals still have not implemented these changes, and a lot of companies still have not implemented these changes, which can cause serious issues, especially for the elderly, but also, for example, for people with cystic fibrosis. At this point, they're saying that antibiotic-resistant infections will be killing more people than cancer in 2050. So it's a serious problem that's only getting worse, and I really hope that the surgeon and everyone else around him in that way will be doing things the right way, the way that they should have been done for the past 4 or 5 years now, but have not. At most community hospitals, most private hospitals, it's something that has been very slow to change, but will be changing. I actually wrote a paper about this and had someone with their master's in microbiology look over it and approve this and say, yeah, this is factual. And I've been submitting that to different companies in the hope that they would actually do these changes, because oddly enough, they're usually cost effective. It actually saves people money to not buy these harmful products. But I suppose because of the advertising that the companies have done, a lot of people are fearful of not being clean enough when the issue is being too clean. Because bacteria is all around us. Our bodies are made up of bacteria as well. We wouldn't be able to digest without bacteria. Our skin constantly has bacteria on it. But it's about promoting healthy bacteria and not harmful bacteria. But if you get rid of all bacteria, anything that's left is going to be antibiotic resistant. And that's the issue. Anyway, didn't mean to get sidetracked, but that's an issue I feel very strongly about, and I'll take any chance I can get to inform the public about it. Hopefully it saves lives. We'll see. But because I'm getting back to LA in early February, probably, I am not taking on any new film projects until then, and even after then, I probably just want to focus on finishing up the projects that have already started. There's a number of them that I'm going to need to have some input in to get them finished, whether it's editing, notes on an edit, or something advisory in the post-production process. Until then, I'll just be keeping my expenses as light as possible, since I won't be taking any new film jobs or other jobs until I'm back. So my plan is very different from last year. I went into 2019 looking for new opportunities and new jobs and new things to work on and new people to be involved with, and I'll be going into 2020 trying to complete the projects that I found in 2019. Very different and not at all where I expected I would be at the beginning of this year, but still something. I'll admit, overall, I'm disappointed in how 2019 went. It's not at all what I was expecting or hoping for, but I want to give a shout out to some of the biggest positives. One of those is The Butcher, which you can see on Amazon Prime. It's doing incredibly well in festivals, and I'm super proud of that. Another is the creative mind behind this right here. Finally came in. Nipsey Hussle, if you're familiar with The Marathon Continues or any of the work that he's done, it really is incredible, and listening to his music has really helped me to get through some of the harder times in this year. So now that I've done a year of recap videos, what do you guys think? Should I keep doing this? Should I make the videos shorter or longer? Should I change the style in some way? I'd love to hear feedback on this and, hear about what I should be doing moving forward. That's it for this month, year, and decade. Not at all how I thought the decade would end, but here's to a better future.